Oh, I'm alive, here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is in the world. It's Sam and Rachel here for another, I think it's meeting 114, excitingly. Time for another local support One Direction Action Harrow Cooperative meeting. I'm just going to kick something off here in the background. I've just been testing them for upgrade. Let's get that running and switch over to the agenda. Here we go. Move that button from. Yes. So, anything particular to add to the agenda this week, Rachel?
No. Well, there was a meeting that I emailed you about.
You did, yes.
So that would be
yes, we'll talk about that. So it's like that's council/do-it meetings. Cool. Okay. Yes. Well, then we'll just go through the action items. I guess I mean, that's sort of an ongoing. Should I just remove this? I mean, you're a general requesting submitter person, aren't you? So, yeah. So we have been looking at icons. I think we'll come to that in the main review. This is all stuff from me from last week. Pretty much done. I think we've got tickets now from all of our discussion. I've made features for all the different things we've talked about. I've got the Do It logo from Hope. Yes. I mean, I think basically this is all kind of done, and we don't really need to review it necessarily. Yeah, and the docs for the VHC Azure Ventures relationship, I went in and edited a few things in there to specify the license our code bases under and so on. Yeah.
And I guess as well, this is probably be quite useful for you if you're starting up like Agile Ventures as a charity, having some of this.
Yes, I think it's important to get it all out and clear. Absolutely. Yes. So anyway, that's kind of there's no action needed on our part at the moment. You're going to be formalising those.
Yeah. I'm looking into that.
Great. Okay. Well, so talking about the Do It collaboration, yeah, I mean, we basically, are not getting a lot of technical support from them.
No, I saw some of the I do tend to read them.
Yeah.
What's going on, and it seems like there's some technical issues. Yeah,
I mean, basically, we can get it all working. It's just that if we had a bit more insight on things that they from the engineers on their side, we could potentially work a lot more efficiently. That Hope seems like a nice person who's trying to help us. It seems like there's only a limited amount of engineer time that she can. I mean, I guess it's like our request of something this is important for us becomes she puts that in her list of things she might mention to the engineers. I think it sounds like she's asked them, and maybe and we'll see if they get back to us. So it's not the. I mean, that's kind of the relating to the meeting on was it 26th of February, whenever it is. Maybe that's something I can talk to the Do It person about on that occasion.
Yeah.
But so the main thing that I sent you during the week was Jana had deployed.
Yeah, and I saw that. That's good.
Yeah, and you were having a look at that. So, yeah. So any thought? I'm just trying to bring that up. Any thoughts?
No, I mean, it seemed to work in the way we were thinking.
Can
you just bring it up a sec?
Yeah, I'm just. It's got one of these ridiculous Moroccan names with it. Like Mountain Stream or some thing, which is a safe basin. Here we go.
It's useful for me as well, because are you happy that we sort of forward it on, just say that this is a real early prototype?
That's probably not such a good idea.
Okay, all right.
It depends. Who are you thinking of forwarding it to?
Well, I have forwarded it on to Alex, and Alex.
Oh yeah, Alex, absolutely.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, Alex is different. He's got a meeting at the council Friday.
Yeah.
So it could be a little thing that this is how it could be working.
Yes.
The other person I thought about forwarding it on to was the contact I've got at Harrow Community Click, which is this slightly more complex volunteering thing. They're interested, and I think it would be really good. That their issue is that you have to be a member and you have to be logged on to see the opportunities. So I think there's an extra barrier there. But in theory, they're interested. So I just thought it's a chance to get that conversation.
Yeah. Well, you got the only thing that I caution is this is Jana's instance, and I don't have any control over it.
Okay.
So it may come and go up and down. I mean, in some ways, I would almost kind of, it's annoying that all these ones, they cover up our ones down here. I mean, it's the kind of thing that one might send a screenshot, or I think if you're thinking of passing it on to a third party, we can at least create one of these that I have control over, so that if it fails, then
all right, that's fine. I'll wait till then.
Yeah. Yes. And so I mean, the key things. I mean, we've got, as you probably saw, so we've got these different bits and pieces, and the organizations and the volunteer opportunities themselves linked directly through into the Do It site, into the particular relevant things. So that's all as you would like it, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, looking at it made me realise we're now relying on other people's information that might not be up to date. Like Steve stuffs there's things on there that aren't organisations that don't exist anymore, but I think that's going to happen anyway, isn't it? We're using other people's information.
Yes. Well, there's maybe in the long run there's a more coherent strategy where we link these to our own list of organisations, or we pull out metadata about when this was listed, and if they were listed more than a certain amount of time ago.
Because one organisation on that list stopped existing in, I don't know, last year at some point.
Right. Which one was that?
The Harrow Community Radio.
Right.
So
I mean, Harrow Community Radio, I thought that was one of our ones. I'm not seeing Harrow Community Radio. Maybe I'm just not seeing it.
You keep going down. I have seen it. Keep going down.
Oh, there we go. Yes, no. Harrow Community. But that's from the... So, right, this is something from Steve's organisation, isn't it? That presumably they filed last year. And this is still... Right, so we've got a posting date here. So, I mean, we could be, like, trying to restrict it so that we only get things that were posted in the last 3 months, for example.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just something to think about, and the fact that you're relying on other people's data, so it might, I guess some sort of, I don't know, some declaration.
Right, or saying to people, yes, that we well, that's true. I mean, yes, I mean, I think
if people go into an organisation and then that organisation doesn't exist, it's a bit
yes, well, I mean, and this is then a problem for Do It themselves, in that they've got this, and it's it's out of date, and somebody here might be trying to register their interest, and the organisation doesn't exist. I mean, I think that's then the short-term fix, rather than trying to add text to say to people, we're sorry that this might be out of date, would be I mean, because I think we probably can filter it through the Do It API, and if we can't, we can filter it on our side. I mean, we have the same problem with our own. I mean, that volunteer options, and that was one of the things that we talked about originally with the whole volunteer thing, is having them expire and alert people that okay, do you still want this opportunity to continue bidding in the system? I mean, and that's something sort of that we want to improve upon on all the other volunteer sites that have loads of out-of-date stuff like this one. But yes, we can certainly put notices to that effect. I guess I'm just to take some notes here. So we've got what we do about out-of-date bots from Do It. So there's date filter. Yeah, and one thing here is at the moment we've got this thing here. I don't know. I'm kind of. How do we feel about? I mean, it sort of feels like they should just be sort of mixed in together and ordered by recency, really.
I think so, because again, I think the whole idea of this is people don't really care whether it's listed on Do It or what have you.
No.
They would be maybe interested because they're looking to be a scout leader or, you know, support volunteer, you know,
Indeed.
where it's listed.
Yes. So we should maybe merge lists and order by recency, since users don't really care where that comes from. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So another thing, of course, we've got this issue that at the moment that it comes back, and so there are multiple scout leader things, but they only appear. You know, you can only see the top one.
Yeah.
So that's a separate thing to work on. We need to reorganize it for our own ones.
It's done by postcode, isn't it? So if they're all at the same postcode.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, particularly from this, I mean, this is one of the questions we're asking. Do it is we ask for volunteer opportunities in a certain radius, and it gives us back all of the volunteer opportunities. And yeah, and then you know they have the address, and if they're in the same address, it puts them on the same place. When the way we run it in our system is that we grab all of the organizations that have in a certain area that have volunteer opportunities available, so we can structure the data and put the, you know, this list of opportunities in there fairly easily. Whereas the data isn't structured like that, so we can re-manipulate the Do It data on our side to put it in that format, so that in the future we'll have, you know, multiple opportunities listed under the same ticket. That we can certainly do that. But before we put the effort into doing that, I was like, oh well, maybe Do It. Does your interface like give us that? And then that's what we haven't been able to get an answer on. So it's
yeah. And also another issue might be some people will be putting the same opportunities in multiple sites.
Yes.
To get best, which hopefully this, you know, is again something this will help.
Yes, well, actually, it's interesting because if people are doing that, our system will actually handle that quite gracefully. Because if you imagine that someone has put Scout Leader in at this address in both our system and in the Do It system, there'll only be one. You'll only see one thing here.
Yeah.
So it won't be replicated in the map, which is an interesting side effect of the way we're doing it. Yeah. So really would like to see all opportunities. I mean, and I assume that's in the long run. I mean, it's not like critical right this second, but being able to see all the opportunities in the location from all of the organizations would be preferable, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Is there any other thoughts from as you've been playing with this at all?
No. I did like the look of. There was an earlier test version with smaller icons. Which
Yes.
More just from but that's my personal.
Yeah, like I think that there was some confusion on our side. Icons. I mean, we've created a ticket for like reviewing the whole icon situation. I mean, I end up, you know, these ones, at least it's sort of consistent within this page, but actually this red and this black, they're you know, they've got the red and the green. They've got the black hard lines around them, and actually we won't see it there because it's the hasn't got any updates from recent. But if we look at the main site, we see that these ones actually they're different again. They have like this little darker red outline, and yeah. So I think anyway, we'll look at overhauling those and maybe moving to the ones that you prefer, the smaller icons. Cool. All right. If that's covered, yeah. So we're hoping to, you know, Jana's wants to wrap that up, and I was working on it with her yesterday, and get that sort of merged in fairly soon. I think we're almost there. I don't think we have any other major things. One thing I'm just in the process of deploying is having, I'll just show you here, validations on when people propose organizations, or even when an admin creates an organization, that basically if you leave the name and the description blank, it will basically say, sorry, you can't have an organization without a name or without a description. So, which I think we talked about a while ago, and that still seems reasonable to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be going out into production shortly. Yeah, so we've got other lots of bits and pieces and sort of cleanup going on. Yeah, so and John has been looking at things. Now, John has he's got some stuff he wanted me to show you. He's wants to kind of do an overhaul of. This is too big. How do I scroll? Oh, there's the scroll bar. Right. Okay. So John has been looking at the way in which the front end is designed and the technologies that we use for that. And he, with his company in New York, with Namely, he's got an idea of a different architecture for doing that. Now, the technical details of that architecture are, completely irrelevant for you. I mean, or at least, of course, you're more than to hear about them in as much detail as you like. He had some particular, he's got some changes that he was thinking of making. View that there is this one, which would involve the kind of don't put it on the. I want to open it in a browser. Ridiculous thing. So he's proposing kind of, if we can actually show here, like removing these gutters at the side.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And having this extending all the way across. He doesn't mean to necessarily remove this search for local voluntary and community organisations. That can stay in there. I think he's just saying, I don't know, he's not a fan of the gutters, or this is, I don't know. How do you feel about the look?
Yeah, I think the top one looks better.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yes. Well, it's probably it's one does want to update and refresh the site. Personally, I quite like the gutters, but then I'm terribly old-fashioned. But your opinion far more important than mine here. So yeah, yes, you'd be quite happy with moving to that. With gutters, and then which is basically having full width navbar, and it does make better use of the space to the extent that on smaller screens and so on. Yeah, cool. And then I was going to say there. Yeah, so and also, I mean, John's getting a bit more involved now. He and I were talking the other day about the kind of the full width map, which we were sort of discussing in the context of the volunteer things about whether we want the list or not. I think what we were discussing was just making the map stretch the width from here to here. But I think there's also, the setup of the kind of the way Google Maps has it. And I think you're quite a fan of this style, right?
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah. And in principle, one doesn't have a list visible until you actually do a search. I mean, is that something in the long term that you would like to emulate?
Yeah, I think so. I think it looks good.
Yes, it definitely looks good. I mean, I guess is that there's from your point of view, because John did do a mock-up, and basically, you have that up to the edge, and it says Harrow Community Networks, and the whole background of the entire page becomes a map rather than the portal of this. I think you'd be quite happy with the development in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, yes, and we'll see if we can get John. I mean, I think he wants to do this kind of refactoring of the way in which the front end is delivered to use some more modern technologies, and that will maybe hopefully support, doing more flexible things with it. Cool. So I'll give him the thumbs up on that in the first instance from your side. Cool. Yeah, I guess he's also interested in, getting more sketching from you, perhaps, of, I just killed the maps. Here it is.
Let me get my pen and paper out again.
Well, potentially. I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like it's sort of, to the extent that you're happy with, you know, the overall look and feel of like the Google Maps.
Yeah.
To emulate that.
I think it would be good to actually have the volunteer opportunities come up straight away rather than...
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. I mean, the volunteer, I mean, and one could have it so that the, you know, that it was sort of like this, so that they came straight up, and that this was kind of visible initially.
Okay. Oh, we come up first.
There we go. Yes. Good show, at least on this one.
Yeah.
Centered on this area. Yeah. Good show. Cool. Yes, we'll carry on.
And the Cooperative shows up as well. Alex will be pleased.
Good show. Excellent. So, well, so that's that thing from John that we did. So then, yeah, so there's this meeting. I think I can probably make that. I'll certainly be interested to meet somebody who can do it and talk to them about bits and pieces. Just, is there anything I need to know about the background of the council?
Alex has got another meeting tomorrow without the Do It person there, so he's going to be meeting tomorrow with the guys from the council.
Okay.
Meeting regularly to discuss volunteering as a general thing. So they are discussing tomorrow, and they are aware of the HCN, and it's on the agenda as you know, as a possible option. I mean, the background is they were sort of looking at what they had for volunteering in the council, and they worked out they had something like 20 or 30 different volunteering schemes within the council. No coordination. So you had, you know, 20 people maybe trying to get volunteers for different things. So I think that's where this sort of discussion came up. So with Steve and Alex, they're sort of talking about, you know, wider, you know, how we can, you know,
have a coherent volunteering strategy.
Yeah, so HCN is an option with this, what they're calling it, a single entry doorway or something like that.
Right.
So at the moment, I don't think the council use anything like Do It. I think they just use their own networks and their website and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, so Alex will meet them tomorrow. So what it might be good for you and Alex to do is maybe have a chat sometime between tomorrow and when the other meeting is.
Right.
I'm possibly able to make it, but at the moment I've got something on that day that I can only get out of if it's changed rather than me changing it. So I think it's definitely worth you and Alex having a chat beforehand.
Yeah, sounds good.
As well. Maybe we could, let me just have a look at the calendar next week. So maybe, you know, just part of our Skype next week. It might be good.
Or I can come in person next week and talk to Alex.
Yeah, that might be useful. It's half next week, but I'm going to be in on Wednesday and Thursday.
Right.
Let me just have a quick.
But yes, so I mean, there was a part of my discussion with Steve around this sort of bigger funding bit, which is like volunteering for the borough and this, that, and the other. Which, of course, who knows whether that goes through or not. But I guess the discussion with the council is, although they're involved in that bid, it's somewhat independently of whether other funds become available for it or not.
Yeah, the council aren't involved. They're not involved in that bid.
No.
It's the one I'm thinking about. It's to reaching communities. It's about people with additional needs who want to volunteer. Unless there might be another bid.
Who knows? I mean, I think Steve, you know, bids, you know, in his sleep really. So it's there's many things going on. But from what that sounds like is that I think the discussion that Alex is having with the council is about helping specifically the council with its volunteering things rather than having a coherent strategy for. Well, I guess it also connects to VAR. But so one of the possibilities is that for them, conceivably, that the council would list their volunteering things through HCN.
There's a possibility,
right.
Or whether they would use Do It, and then because Do It is linked in with us, it would appear on our one.
Right.
I think it's early days. I think it'd be good.
Yeah. All right. No, fair enough. Yeah. Good to know.
So. Yeah.
Yes. All right. That's good. So then, I think I should probably be able to make that, and it'd be interesting to hear what's being said. And we'll try and talk to Alex before that. So I'll put in an action item there, which is for me to talk to Alex before council meeting. But so, of course, one basically the council doesn't have any funds for doing this.
I don't know. I don't know. So it's always worth going in with the hope that they might.
Sure. Good show.
Yeah.
Okay, so then moving on, and then to the Agile Ventures Constitution thing. I mean, I've been kind of looking out for trying to get more trustees.
Okay.
And, I've got some people who I thought might be trustees saying that they would rather not be, and then actually some other people like Thomas has said he's interested to be a trustee, and I sort of assumed it was limited to UK people, but apparently
no, you can have overseas trustees.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And with technology, you know, you can do meetings by Skype. I think there has to be a percentage base in the UK, but if you talk about having one person, is that Thomas from Sweden?
Yes, that you've met.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from online. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And then some people have been suggesting that maybe I should be being a trustee in the first instance. And I guess there's a possibility it's not the way that I wanted it to go, but maybe that might be a sensible thing to do for the first year or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it makes sense for you. I mean, the main barrier, I guess, is if you're looking to take a salary from it.
Yes, and also, well, I think I'd never be looking to take a salary from it. I'd be potentially looking to take, contracts from it for the, the work that I would do to maintain the site, for example.
Yeah. But that we can work around, because I mean that happens. So both Steve and I are part of the board of a local consortium. And the whole idea of this consortium is that as individual organisations, we're all quite small, got small turnover, and sometimes funding tenders come in and they're quite big. So this volunteering one is an example. There's been other examples. So as a consortium, we put in an application to a funder, and then the delivery is not done by the consortium, it's done by our members. But there are ways of working around the conflict of interest. So if one of the members wants to do the contracted work, they're not involved in the decision making.
Okay.
So there are ways.
Right.
We can look at this. So I think it would be sensible for you to be part of. So at the moment, is it looking like me, you, Thomas,
and Steve?
Steve, okay. So that's 4.
So 4, which I think you were saying was sort of the minimum. And did you have any ideas of anybody else who might be appropriate?
I don't know. I mean, it is always quite hard to find trustees. I mean, it might be worth. I guess initially you're just looking at numbers, aren't you, rather than a particular
skill set.
Well,
I'm sort of looking at it, something for whom this whole thing is. It's sort of interesting for them. But I mean, don't. If you thought of somebody who would be kind of interested, then that's good. Well, if it was me, Thomas, and you, and Steve, that kind of 4 could be a reasonable starting place.
Yeah, and you can always have people in.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that the templates, there's this thing about relatives and this, that, and the other. Although, of course. Yes, I mean, I've got my aunt at this. It doesn't exclude aunts and uncles and things.
No, it's usually wife, husband,
spouse. Parents, children, grandchildren, grandparents. So if we really wanted to have 5 names, then I could probably sort something out. I guess the only thing about that sheet has to have signed. So if we do have Thomas, I've got to send him that thing with us. He's got to send me like a thing with the signature on, basically.
Yeah,
and then we sign it. Okay, but I guess that's the only thing that can be done.
It can be scanned, because what happens, I mean, even the one that I did, I got everyone to sign it, and then you have to attach it as a document. So I scanned it in.
Oh, okay.
So I would just get him to sign. I mean, either he can sign it and post it. Yeah.
Or just sign it and scan it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Because it was a scanned version that I put on when I did it. I am in the process. So the same consortium I've just mentioned, we're actually changing. We were a community interest company, and we're changing to be a registered charity. And so we're already in the process, and we've used the same object as you have around sort of supporting other charities.
Oh yeah.
And demonstrating how you do that. So they probably will have further questions, but hopefully they should be quite straightforward to answer, because I've had to answer them. I can maybe send you what I've sent them.
Cool. Oh, sounds good.
Maybe I'll wait and see if they accept him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did seem to want more information about.
Okay.
I think what they're saying is that that you can do this as a private organisation. They gave examples of solicitors and lawyers,
Yes.
accountants support charities, and you just have to demonstrate that it's it's genuinely helping charities, and that you're either you're not charging a commercial rate and stuff. Which
Yes.
in your case it's fine. It's there are other questions that they might come back and ask.
Sure. Cool. Oh well, that's very good to know. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that about covers everything, unless there's anything else we need to look at.
No.
Good show. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll try and make my way in person next week, and maybe we'll have a chat with Alex, and hopefully we'll have a version of the thing that you can be sending out to other people.
Okay, yeah. Well, at the moment his calendar looks okay for Thursday, so I'll try and pin him down and just check. You've got loads of sunlight coming in.
Yes,
you're like
There's just, I mean, yes. Well, I'm on I'm in the front of my house, which faces south, and so and I just got the blinds. So yes, good show. All right, nice one. I'll have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, bye,
Bye for now.